Glad to have you join us on the second segment of the interview on New Dawn right here on OGTV, the People's Daily. Yes, this at this point we are taking a look at climate change, the unfriendly climate change, really, and what really is needed to be done. We all know that climate change is no longer a future prediction. It is an immediate daily reality, what we encounter on a daily basis today. And while many actually debate what's really the cause of this, geospatial technology would actually help us to pinpoint where, how fast, and those who are actually most at risk when it comes to climate change. And that is why we are going to be looking at the unfriendly climate change through the lens of a professor of applied remote sensing and geospatial techniques. He works with the Federal University of Agriculture right here in Abeokuta. He is no other than Professor John Oyedepo. It's a pleasure having you join the conversation.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so what's the current, help us, bring us up to speed with the current situation, really, particularly in Nigeria and probably surrounding environment. What really is the situation of the climate?
Thank you very much. To understand the topic or the discussion on climate change, we have to go back to the basics. So what is climate? The climate is the average weather condition over a long period on a particular region. So we'll be talking about climate change in Nigeria. We'll be looking at the average weather events, the values of rainfall, temperature, humidity, wind speed, and other things like that over a period of nothing less than 30 years. So, and in Nigeria, it's not something we read in books. It's something we can see every day now. There are some areas where we are experiencing drought. That's what we call extreme weather events. And there are some other areas where we experience flood. Recently, I saw a picture of what is happening in Akwa Ibom, that the inundation is above the window level, almost up to the lintel of buildings.
Huh.
And that is serious.
That's the water.
It's serious because the heavy downpour that is coming is like people are not prepared for it. And that's the reason why the negative effects of these weather events is having a very serious toll on us. So in Nigeria, yes, we are experiencing the impacts of climate change, just to sum it up in a nutshell.
And the question one would actually be forced to ask is, how much of this flooding that we experience, how much of it can we say we can say is climate change is responsible for? And how much of it can we say, oh, it's largely because we have not put in place the right infrastructure?
Okay, thank you. Well, we cannot say that climate change is responsible for every negative or untoward events that we see. For instance, that issue of flood that you talk about, it's not everything that is that can be blamed on climate change. The heavy downpour, yes, and it's increasing in intensities that are beyond our expectation in recent time. But there are other anthropogenic activities that are causing that. For instance, if the drains are not desilted, they are not cleared, you have overflow. If people are going to the river banks, the streams which God has used as a natural buffer to help us absorb this kind of shock, and people are going there, I see a lot of this done, wetlands being cleared, being sand-filled, Some people use it for petrol stations, some are using it for block industry. Even around us in Abeokuta city here, I see that a lot. So when you have these, the leeway for that excess rain or excess flooding to be able to go and flow naturally through the channel to the rivers and to eventually to the lagoon, they are not there. And so when you block the water, it will look for an alternative route. And so we cannot say that climate change is responsible. At least if I will put it, I will say maybe about 50% of this flooding is human induced. So the climate change is there, yes, but if we prepare, we can't hold the rain, but we can control the channel, the water channels. We can widen it where we need to desilt, where we need to widen the canals. We can do that. And that will serve as a buffer to absorb the shock that this extreme weather events are bringing.
So the question would now be, why are we always caught off guard year in, year out? We have the available technology, we have the information really, to let us have idea of what level or amount of rains we are going to experience. And the technology is also there. I mean, why is it that year in, year out, we are caught off guard? We have floods here and there. People lose their property, sometimes lives are lost.
Yeah, that will also be blamed on awareness. We can blame that on awareness. We can blame that on negligence. Let me say that. Because when you are given a warning that is going to rain so period, and that you should desilt your channels, you should also ensure that the natural drainage channels are not blocked and they are not heeding to that kind of warning, the nature will have its own course. So you can't block the water, you can't stop the rain from falling. But we are to know that, because I see even in the city, many streets don't have drainages. And that's what is causing, you see a lot of roads being destroyed. Gully erosion, and some roads are impassable now. So we can blame that on negligence. We can also blame it on lack of precision in the prediction. What I mean by that is,
so sometimes we get it wrong.
Yeah, not even getting it wrong, but when you give an umbrella forecast, and it's not specific to the farmers, for instance, it's not specific to the urban centers, and you just say it's going to rain this way, nobody will be able to prepare, because I think even in the scripture it's written that if a trumpet is giving an uncertain sound, nobody will prepare for war, because you don't know whether that call is for war or for you to prepare or for you to mobilize. So that's the reason why it's important for us to have what we call early warning systems for not just agricultural disasters. We should have early warning systems for disease outbreak. That's weather-related or climate-related disease outbreak. We should have early warning systems for, as we have for aviation. We should also have it for normal day-to-day activities like that. So that's what I mean by breaking it down, being precise in the forecast. So if we have that, I believe that people will take warning. For instance, if you say this part of Southwest is likely to experience this kind of flooding, and we know these areas that are inland valleys. Another thing is that during the urban expansion, there is no adequate planning. There are some places where we should leave out as green belts. There are some places that should not be constructed at all. But you see that everywhere now is being constructed. There are buildings on the hill and the valley, and there is no proper planning. So these are some of the reasons why we could experience what we are experiencing.
Now, I mean, I can say that, I mean, there is something that has been consistent, really, in what you have been saying ever since, and it is poor preparation, poor preparation, poor preparation, poor preparation, and that's why we actually experience all of these things year in, year out, really. So, when is best, really, to prepare, you know, for situations like this? Is it a few weeks to the rain? Is it during the raining season, you know, or is it when predictions are made?
Yes, preparation should start even at the beginning of the year. There should be a long time. That's what we call the S2S forecast. That's seasonal to sub-seasonal forecast. There is a long-term forecast. So all these are supposed to be made available for people to see, and then planning. Maybe the people in the environment, people in urban renewal, people, they will be able to know what and where to deploy their efforts to mitigate whatever is likely to happen. So, and you will see that in other climes, we are lucky we don't have tectonic activities here where you have landslide and you have earthquakes. But in regions where they experience it, they would have been monitoring the vibration of the earth. And there are gadgets that have been put in place that will be sending signals on the vibration of the earth. So by the time it's getting close to what we call the threshold frequency, they know what to do. They will be able to do a kind of forecast or prediction or analysis to say, supposing this earthquake of this magnitude is about to happen, where is going to be, which area will be affected, and what should be done. And then you will see in their cadastral map, they will be able to create a kind of geospatial map and say, in the next 1 week before this thing takes place, evacuate these people here. So the same thing, we should have that kind of arrangement. So beginning from the onset, before the rain starts, the farmers should prepare, the people in the city should prepare against any negative events of coming from weather or from climate change.
Okay, so let's take a look at technology. Really, technology has really helped us, and the question would now be: is Nigeria, you know, tapping into the availability of the technology, you know, that we have that can really help us navigate these problems of climate change? How are we faring?
Yeah, Nigeria is not doing badly, to say the fact, because we have an agency called the National Agency for Aerospace. They call them NASDAQ. So they are in charge of Nigerian satellites in Abuja, and they are in collaboration with other countries of the world. So we have Earth-observing satellites that are looking at what is happening. We also have those ones that are connected with meteorology. For instance, in FUNAB, in my university, we are in collaboration with European meteorological satellites. So meaning that apart from the ancillary data, weather data measurements in the rain gauge stations, in the weather station, we could also look at that from remote sensing angle. We could look at it, we can predict what is the sea surface temperature like. So because when you know the condition on the sea, most of these extreme weather events that we're talking about, they come from the sea. When the temperature of the sea is increasing, you are likely to have more water vapor rising. And as it rises, it gets to a point, it condenses, forms heavy cloud, and then the rain is coming. So, and when we look at that, we should be able to predict that this is what is going to lead to. We will have sea level rise. We are going to have extreme rainfall somewhere. We will have drought somewhere. Something we call El Nino. Although in Africa here we have our own Atlantic multi-decadal oscillations. So what that means is that the ocean keeps warming up at certain periods. And when that happens, it comes with enormous amount of water vapor that condenses, forms cloud, and then it dissipates or precipitates rather at a time when it has reached a saturation point. So with this technology, we're able to monitor and we can forecast with very good level of accuracy that it's likely going to rain here, it's likely going to cause flooding here, or this kind of pests or this kind of diseases are likely to break out. And based on the weather condition, this is going to be the epicenter, this is where the thing is going to spread to, and people are supposed to prepare based on that kind of warning. So, but what I see again is that we need a lot of awareness. If I can just branch off a little, about 2 years ago, FUNAB, in collaboration with IITA, we set up what we call the flood alert system. Because the previous year, we were told that rice farmers lost a lot, or in fact, some of them almost lost their life because they were, you know, our local rice farmers, they will be on the field driving birds and preventing losses from pests. So some of them were on the farm when they saw the flood coming. In fact, we were told that some of them slept on the tree. So we had to do something we call flood alert system, and to put it at, I think, Arakanga there, that's the dam, so that that camera will be watching when the flood is rising. It will trigger an alarm far downstream, so that before the body of water will arrive at that place, they would have known, and they are supposed to heed it. But the question is, how many of them will be able to have that kind of alert system on their phones? How many of them can read the mobile application that is going to give them this kind of warning? So that's why I said we have a lot of work to do in enlightening the people, in being precise in the way we forecast, and telling them what and what to do when such kind of a thing arises. So yes, we have the technology, but we have to apply them appropriately to be able to escape some of these challenges.
I sort of like the second leg of your thoughts now, largely because it makes us know that flooding is not just about lives. It's not just about residential houses being flooded. You know, it also affects the economy, the livelihoods, farmlands, and the rest of them. You know, but most people do not know. And I also like it because I was about asking you really about that, how farmers are also taking advantage of this information and this technology to also prevent loss of their livelihoods, of their farm produce and even their own lives as well. Now the challenge you have raised, the challenge of or the challenges of how many of these people will be able to have access to this information, have it on their phone, read and understand, and the rest of them. How do you think this can actually be addressed?
It's very simple. We've been advocating that at local government levels, we should have warning systems. They are the closest to the grassroots, to these people, to the farmers, to people that are vulnerable to this drought, to these extreme weather events. So if we have that at the local government level, they will be able to educate the people and tell them that this is what this one means. They'll be able to interpret correctly. And the farmers can, they can have a kind of organization where you can train them, and then they will go and step it down to their own people. So I wonder what the local government will be doing actually if they cannot protect the lives of their people. In other climes, when you talk of road rehabilitation, you talk of electricity, you talk of, it's the local government that is in charge. So things like this, we can give it to them. When I was going as a child, in all public primary school and secondary schools, NIMET used to have weather stations. And one officer will come from the local government to come and take it regularly from all the villages. From the schools, they will take the record and go back. And then the whole thing will be aggregated into the national database, so that you can plan. You'll be able to plan, you'll be able to know what should be done, what are the mitigation measures, what are the interventions, which area require intervention. We call it geographical targeting of interventions. So they could target this area, they are likely to have drought. So what should we do? Let's provide the irrigation scheme for them. This area, they are likely to experience extreme, maybe flood. So you advise them on their planting calendar, when they should go to farm, when they should not, or which type of crop that will be tolerant to water body standing, that they should plant at a particular period. That way, you will see that it will have less toll on our economy. Because, to say the fact, is these rural farmers that are subsidizing food in Nigeria. They are the one producing. And if you look at it, I don't want to go into that. they are hardly breaking even. You know, by the time you look at the case of cassava this year, somebody who produced and is not able to recover the capital.
Now, as we cost really, because unfriendly climate change is a discussion, but also the time is unfriendly. I mean, because we have not really been able to, yes, we've been able to unpack much, but there are other areas really that we really need to also touch, but time will not permit us. But as we coast home, is there a website really that people interested in knowing the latest, they can always access? Website that they can always access to know.
Yeah, NIMET is there. In fact, there are so many. NIMET is there. Even on the Android phones, you can actually key into some online MET stations that will be able to forecast every day what you are likely to witness. So.
I must thank you sincerely for your time with us this morning, taking a look at the unfriendly climate change and how as a nation, and of course as individuals, as farmers, how we can actually weather, the climate, and then make it work in our favor and not against us. Of course, we've been speaking with Mr. John Oyedepo, who is a professor of applied remote sensing and geospatial techniques with the Federal University of Agriculture, FUNAB. We must thank you sincerely for your time.
Thank you very much for having us.
And we also thank you for your time with us as well this morning, watching the program. Of course, another set of anchors and another edition of the program will come your way again on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day.